Welcome to the first episode of the Girlz Girl Podcast. A couple things just to get us, kicked off here. I am so thankful for you girls that have it literally inspired me to come up with the brand Girlz Girl. And I want to get into where the term Girlz Girl came from. So I think all in all, I have realized that, little backstory, I left my job in January 2023 and started my own fitness coaching business. And I have had the absolute best time in my whole life training women and building a community of women that I personally get to help. And what I realized throughout this year in using social media as a platform for my business and obviously just connecting with more women through coaching in general is I did not realize how many women struggled with being alone, struggled with being confident, struggled with loving themselves. And I think often in the coaching position and even at my past job in the leadership position, I often felt like I had my shit together or I had to have my shit together. And I think that people who are, leading a group of people, for instance, being a fitness coach, I am perceived by these girls that I'm coaching that I eat perfectly, that I train perfectly, that I am extremely healthy in the relationships that I'm in, and I have great friends. And my coaching business this year was the biggest blessing in my whole life because I'm literally so sensitive. I'll probably get choked up all the time making this podcast. But I really had to look into myself this year because I would get off of group calls, and bawl my eyes out because I was, leading a group of girls who I was supposed to make stronger, more healthy, and I was not doing that myself. And I, again, feel super lucky that I've been able to be a part of all those conversations because it's crazy how it was my job to not make someone feel alone, or my job to lead someone out of this phase of not being confident or not being healthy. And little did my clients know. Arnor, we are not going to cry on the first episode. Arnor, I'm literally wearing my sister's mood ring. This is so silly, but I found it in my gym bag when I was finding my little microphones. And I was like, this is my sister's. Maybe it will make me feel safe while I'm doing my first podcast. Anyways, little did my clients know, they were pulling me out of a phase I didn't even know I was in. I remember one of my clients specifically, she literally knows who she is. Every time I would call her, she would say, I'd be like, all right, let's check in on you. Let's see how your nutrition was last week. This girl would stop me in my tracks so fast and say, we're talking about you, sister. And we had 45-minute, sometimes 2-hour long phone calls that were straight therapy sessions. And that was hard for me because I was supposed to be in the position to help her, right? Every time I've gotten off of the phone with this girl, I have felt like just you can say that I'm not very good with emotions, But every time, okay, we're going to get this together. This is going to be raw, unedited Coco chats because I know girls out there need to hear this shit. All right? But anyways, I would get off the phone with this girl and I realized how hard of a time I had receiving help. My whole professional career, my whole life, I was always helping others in my professional career. Again, training, leading. I was a big, like, family helper outer, family problem solver, family venter, go to. And I think this girl, I kid you not, first person in my whole life that can stop me in my tracks and say, "No, we're talking about you today." And through obviously multiple conversations and check-in calls, if you will, with her, I realized that I didn't have my shit together. And I love that because I think so many of us go about our days just thinking everything's fine, I'm good, it's chill, whatever, I'm healthy. I have not been as healthy as I am today in probably my whole life. And I would say that I'm probably not the most in shape that I've ever been. I have the least amount of friends I ever have. I am the most single I've been and in my whole life. And I am the healthiest I have ever been. And that is because through my coaching conversations with clients, I had to look into myself. If you know anything about training or helping people in general, we all know we're not hopping on a call and talking all about nutrition or all about training. I'm saying, girl, tell me what's up. Tell me what's going on in your life. How's your boyfriend treating you? How's your mom doing? How's your friends? How are they treating you? What's something you did for yourself this week? And again, those questions made me reflect. I wasn't doing the shit I was telling other people to do. That we call a hypocrite. Anyways, let's long story short here. The term Girlz Girl came from, obviously, it's a known term. And it really just sat with me because the way that I have it kind of defined and have seen it defined is a girl's girl is the kind of girl that another woman, another girl wants to be around. And I have always really forced myself to be that person. I always wanted everyone to like me. I always bent over backwards for strangers, for goodness sake, so that they would like me. So that I was what I thought a girl's girl was. And here's what a girl's girl means to me now. To be a girl's girl means to be authentically yourself, to be healthy, to be confident, to be happy, to work hard, and to essentially share your secrets with other girls. I don't think I was capable of being a girl's girl. I've always, made friends easily. I could talk to a wall, but what it means to be a girl's girl was loving myself first. And it wasn't until very recently where I was like, I love you, Coco. And that is literally when Girlz Girl came about because I was like, holy shit. I have learned so much this year in my career path, in working at a bar on the weekends with a bunch of beautiful girls and learning to be confident in those settings, like truly, truly confident to where I'm going to say it. I don't really care if someone doesn't like me anymore. And I used to lose sleep at night if a girl didn't like me because I was like, I'm the nicest person ever. How could you not? And now, again, back to the term girl's girl. If you don't like another girl, sure, there are instances where we, you've done something to each other, but whatever, we can hash that out. If you are a girl's girl, all right? You communicate with other girls. You lift up other girls. You can both be confident in who you are. You can both be beautiful. You can both be hardworking. You can share the tools to being confident. You can share the tools to working hard, the tools to getting to where you want to be. You can cheer for someone if they're ahead of you. You can cheer for someone if they're behind you. Like, help them get to where you are. And that is the kind of girl's girl that I want to be. You are hot, but so is the girl next to you. You are badass, but so is the girl next to you. You are hardworking, but so can the girl next to you be. And I didn't realize, again, through my social media platform, I have learned how many girls struggle with a lot of the things that I deal with. And I have really just grown to be more open and vulnerable about how much time I spend alone, how difficult it is to find friends, how hard dating is when you really truly love yourself. And not that there's not great people out there, okay? But when you love yourself, a lot of those things get tougher because your standards, rightfully so, get higher. So let's cover our first topic of the Girlz Girl Podcast, episode number 1. Just number 1, the first question was what inspired me to start this podcast, and I've kind of said it, but I want to talk about things that when I post a story and I say, what are you struggling with or what can I help you with? It's not just an answer that I could write in a little box. It's something I could talk about for forever. So if you say, tell me more about dating yourself, or how are you so confident, or how, do you spend so much time alone? It's story time. It's not just a little story response. So I think there is none other than the first topic to be dating yourself, confidence, and just self-love, learning to be alone, all the things. So let's talk about learning to be alone. This one, babes. Learning to be alone. If you asked me a year ago if I would be living alone, running my biz, spending time alone, being single, I wouldn't believe you, babes. I was a relationship girly through and through. But you know why? It was because I wanted to love other people, take care of other people the way that I wasn't taking care of myself. And I know that we all deal with that. I love to cook for someone. I love to fold someone else's laundry. Weird. I love to show up for someone else. I love to be an ear for someone else. And this goes for girlfriends, relationships, friendships too, not just dating. But I was doing all the things for other people that I was longing for. It's so motherfucking true when people say you love others the way you want to love yourself. And when I most certainly had to force myself to like kind of get out of the dating scene. Yes, I will go on a date, but being intentional about like I'm going to make sure that I really love Coco first has changed the game for me. I have cooked the best damn meals for myself this year. I have gone on so many dates by myself. I have started my own business. I have taken pride in my own space, my own apartment. I have worked through a lot of BS, and that would not have happened if I was putting my energy into another person. So learning to be alone was definitely something that was hard for me because I did have to force it. And I think the first time that I ever had to be alone was when I have a twin sister, for those of you that don't know that, and a little brother. And I if you're a sibling, you know this, okay? When you have siblings, you have built-in best friends. You don't do anything alone. I was also blessed with a twin sister, so I went to first grade with someone. I went to second grade with someone. My first day of high school with someone. I went through breakups with someone, drama with someone, family problems with someone. And when I was 15, I moved away from my siblings. My parents are separated, so I lived with my dad and they lived with my mom. And I will never forget the day that I first was separated from them. I think it was in that same week where I like did my first thing by myself in my entire life, and that was going to the grocery store. I remember my dad was like, "All right, you're going to go get groceries by yourself." He had to have already known like this girl needs to practice being by herself, or this girl needs to be independent. Bless his heart, because he gave me his debit card and he said, "I want you to go in the store by yourself." And I said, "Mm-mm, no, 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 we're not doing that." I cried in the passenger seat of my dad's car because he wanted me to go in the grocery store by myself. I That was the day that I, number one, learned that okay, I'm about to be on my own now, and number two, I this is what it feels like to be alone. And I had never felt that feeling until that day. And as silly as it sounds, that day was like revolutionary for me because I feel like I was very blessed with the gift of self awareness. And that day, maybe not in the moment, but I was like, holy shit, I have an issue. I can't be alone. And I don't think that I worked through that. I was very much so, you know, wanted to have lots of friends. I was, always had a boyfriend and, just something so that I never had to be alone. I remember if I was like sitting in my room alone as a kid, I would be texting my friends, like, what are you doing? And they'd be busy and I would feel so shut down. And same thing in relationships. I know we've all been there before where we like text our boyfriend and we're like, want to hang out? And they're like, I'm busy. And it just tears your world apart. But listen, now I would rather be alone. Crazy, huh? Crazy turn of events. And just because that day was the first day that I like kind of realized that I was alone doesn't mean that that was a day that it changed for me. I struggled with being alone up until, I swear, just this year. I, got out of a relationship at the end of last year and immediately got back into like dating at the beginning of this year. And I, was dating, and I remember still feeling very shut down by getting that. I'm like exposing myself right now. But I remember getting very shut down by someone saying, like, oh, I can't, I'm with my friends, or oh, I'm busy, or even friends. Again, like if I asked friends to hang out and they were like, yeah, I'm with my boyfriend, I'd be like, how dare you bail on me for a man? I'm just teasing. But no, seriously, I felt so shut down by it felt like rejection, but it wasn't. Those people were just doing what was best for them, and I didn't know at the time what was best for me. So I wish that I could say, I would like to say that it was probably the last kind of like dating situationship I was in where I was really like, again, feeling shut down by them not wanting to spend time with me. Number one, they didn't want to spend time with me at all, and I should have realized that. But I was feeling very shut down, and I was like, I just woke up one day and I was like, the only person making you feel this way, Courtney Nicole Grosso, is you. And I will say it over and over and over. We are so in control, so much more in control of all the things that we feel than we think. If you are in a relationship that is making you feel insecure, guess who has the choice to get out of it? You it is at yes, maybe that person's actions are making you feel that way, but at the end of the day, it is our choice to work through our past, to grow from our pasts, to choose the types of people that we want to be around, to, work hard enough to get the things that we want. It is all a damn choice. And sometimes we forget that. And we blame other people for the things that we've been through or the way that we've been shaped or the things that we've learned as a kid. And I just I'm so thankful for the little situationship, if you will, that I had that really taught me that I am in control. The day that I woke up and I was like, Courtney, this person does not see your value, so you better see your damn own and get the hell out of here. And it just clicked for me. And I yeah, I don't know. Learning to be alone has been a really long 24-year process. And let's I'm kind of like getting off track now, but let's kind of go into just confidence and self-love. When you learn to be alone, let me tell you, when I take myself on dates, that shit is hard. It is so humbling. I will say, I am lucky that I have the confidence that I do now, but it is not easy to walk into a damn restaurant by yourself, go sit at the bar and be like, hey, and they're like, is someone else coming? Do you want two waters? I'm like, no, it's just me. It is a humbling experience, but to be all the only thing you can do, so many people ask, how do you go to dinner by yourself? How do you go on trips by yourself? How do you go to a concert by yourself? Everything in life, listen, I'm going to sound like my dad right now, but you just have to fucking do it. You will never get through the feeling of being intimidated, scared, shy if you don't just force yourself into the situations, because every time I still, again, go into dating myself, going to do something by myself, like, gosh, I'm such a damn loser. And then when I leave, I'm like, that was so badass, or that was so tough of me. I'm so strong. I'm so cool. My dinner, I only had to pay for one person tonight. And like all of the good things that come out of going on a date by myself are far better than the feeling of being held back by the timidness of just the idea of going to do something by myself. And I will tell you that obviously takes a level of confidence, but confidence cannot be developed until you just do it. You just own it. You walk into a room and say, I am kind, I am hardworking, I am a good friend, I'm a good daughter, I'm a good sister. And when you start to really believe those things about yourself, I don't give a damn how big your booty is, how beautiful your eyes are. You are beautiful and you should be confident because of the person that you are. And my confidence has always stemmed from just who I am as a person. And like I said before, I have known my whole life. I hate saying this, but I've known my whole life that I am kind, genuine, authentic, hardworking. And until I believed those things, I knew it was deep down in me. And other people would say it, you're so kind, you're so hardworking, you're so this. I didn't believe it until I just practiced telling myself that. And I really started to, have actions that reflected those things. And I, again, I keep losing my train of thought. Um, but anyways, I guess my point here is when you become confident, you no longer choose relationships that don't serve you. You no longer have friends that aren't also badass girls to have around. You don't surround yourself with people who don't support your ideas and tear you down. You distance yourself from, the people that never give you good advice, and you start to realize like, okay, that advice comes from their problems and their experiences. And again, the biggest thing when it comes to confidence is listening to yourself. That would probably be my biggest piece of advice when it comes to confidence. Listen to yourself more. I remember every decision I made, literally every decision I made, I would ask other people. I knew 3 years ago that I wanted to start my personal training business. And what did I do? I asked my boss at the time, my friends at the time, my family at the time, whatever, I'm going to start my business. I'm going to start my business. And I was getting told things like, oh, you need job security. You imagine how much money you could make if you stay with the company. Imagine, you don't want to go be by yourself, do you? You don't want to run a business. Oh, when you're 40, you don't want to be training people. Listen, well, that might be true. This year, it was a day in my car in January. I listened to myself and I said, Courtney, you want to start your business? So start your damn business. And I sent in my letter of resignation that day. I said, wow, took you 3 years to make this decision, huh? But I will say, timing is everything. Like, I truly know that the timing of everything is exactly how it was supposed to be. Whatever. If I wasn't the confident woman that I am today, I wouldn't have been able to build my business and be sitting on this couch talking to myself. Listen, the last thing I'm going to say is choose who you, the most powerful advice I can give you when it comes to confidence is choose who you spend your time around. Who your friends are, where you work, if you love what you do, if you who you're dating, who your situationship is, who you're putting energy into is the number one thing. After how we talk to ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, obviously there can be a wall in between how you talk nice to yourself, how you feel about yourself, how you treat yourself, and your confidence, because on that side of the wall with you is people who don't lift you up, who don't believe in you, who don't make you feel confident, who don't make you feel important, who don't treat you like the princess that you are. Choose who you spend your time around, choose who you put your energy into. I'll say it again, but I will go back to a quote I heard at the Teddy Swims concert, a concert I went to a couple weeks ago, and he said, "Who how others treat you is a reflection of themselves." We've all heard that. But how you allow others to treat you is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. Mic drop. Anyways, that couldn't be more true. And I hope that even just one sentence that I said in this podcast helped one of you. Please let me know, whether it's on Instagram, on TikTok, in my comments down below, what else I can talk about, if there were any unanswered questions in this podcast. But I, again, am so excited to continue to do this, to sit right here, maybe somewhere else next time, and just talk and hopefully create another community around being a girl's girl. I want girls to be here with me. I want one of you sitting next to me talking about your experiences, how you struggle with confidence, how you've outgrown your things, because we're all also different. Like, the way that I tell you to do something, we all know this. We all have different brains, different learning brains, different teaching brains, and it's important for other people to talk to, not just me, because I know I have a lot to say, but it might not always be the right thing. So I can't wait to just have other, girls that I love and that inspire me to be sitting next to me and be chatting about things that all of us girls need to talk about. That being said, I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. This video is this podcast is so special to me because this is literally the first podcast of many. This is probably something that I am most excited about. I've never really felt this excited about something in my life. And it is simply because I cannot wait to build a community of girls who feel strong, beautiful, confident, and just come together. I know. I know. So cute. So sweet. I will preface that I will be talking in an Australian accent as often as I possibly can. If you're Australian, don't listen to this. But it just comes out, okay? And we're not going to start over if it comes out. We're just going to keep it in. And that's it. I had to get that out of the way. I'll leave you with that. Happy episode 1 of the Girlz Girl Podcast. I hope you come back every week. And I can't wait to have you guys sitting next to me wearing a Girlz Girl hat, a Girlz Girl t-shirt. And I have so many visions for Girlz Girl that I can't wait to share with you guys. And one day we're all going to be in one big room together. I just know it. I can feel it. And if you're listening to this, I love you. If you listen to 5 minutes, I love you. If you listen to the whole thing, God bless you. Peace out. Peace out, girls.